Today I'll be reviewing a fragrance from Guerlain's L'Homme Ideal range. This one is called Extreme. It came out last year in 2020. I've been working my way through a pretty decent size decant here. So yeah, ready to give you my thoughts on a fragrance that I think is really nice. Stay tuned to hear my thoughts. What's going on, guys? Raj here. Hope all of you out there are doing well. So the L'Homme Ideal range is Guerlain's basically their attempt at creating fragrances for the mass market, maybe to appeal to a lot of people who haven't actually heard of Guerlain before. And it feels like to me like this has been quite a popular line. I mean, they are continuously putting out fragrances in this range. They have this continued, I think the cologne version, and there have been quite a lot of different versions. You've got the EDT, the EDP, the extreme version, the cologne, which I believe is no longer. There's a cool version, there might have been a sport. I can't really keep up with all of these new fragrances, but the extreme one, I was keen to try this one because I really enjoyed the Eau de Parfum version. So yeah, of course, created by Thierry Vasser. He's the in-house perfumer there. And in terms of the note breakdown, well, according to the Guerlain website anyway, in the opening there is bergamot and pink pepper. There's also in the heart, so going into the heart, there's cinnamon and plum, along with heliotrope and some almond. So this whole range really centers around the use of almond, but with this particular fragrance they've added in plum. They've also added in tobacco and leather into the base of the fragrance, along with patchouli and cedarwood. If I had to pick a few words to describe this fragrance, or some of the notes really that really jump off on my skin, I would say boozy, a little bit sweet, spicy tobacco, and I would say quite woody as well. It's a really pleasing fragrance. I actually really enjoy what they've done with this fragrance. It comes out pretty strong. It lasts a decent amount of time on my skin. I think longevity is around that 6 to 7 hours. Nothing spectacular, but I can't say that actually I have any issues. And now that I've actually been wearing it, we're coming into slightly warmer weather. Coming into spring here, actually I've been enjoying this fragrance a lot more, and I've actually been getting pretty good performance out of it. I can't really complain. Occasions it does feel like an evening kind of fragrance, like it would be really good going out to a bar. We're still here in lockdown in the UK, but things are hopefully going to be changing in the next, by June I think we should be completely out of it. So I think I would really enjoy wearing this fragrance, you know, going out for drinks at night. But yeah, wear it anytime you like, to be honest. Seasons, it does feel like a cooler weather kind of fragrance. Winter, spring, autumn. That's here in the UK anyway, that's most of the year. So I think there's an element of versatility with this fragrance. I personally wouldn't wear it to like an office setting, but these are just my preferences. You guys can do whatever you want when it comes to wearing your fragrances. The opening blast really is quite potent, and there's a lot going on. It is very, as I said earlier, quite spicy. There is definitely this spiced tobacco type accord in there. I get a boozy nuance in here which combines quite nicely, I think. I don't know where it's coming from, to be honest, but perhaps this almond note mixed in with the heliotrope is giving me this feeling of a boozy liqueur, maybe also giving me vibes of like a marzipan, but never becomes too sweet. There's a sweetness here, certainly, probably also coming from the tobacco, but it never goes off in sugary sweet territory, but it kind of does border on that. There were times when this, for me, felt like a slightly different version of Tonka Imperial, which is of course by Guerlain in their La Elle Matière collection. And while I think there are differences, definitely Tonka Imperial is sweeter. They both contain that level of depth that I really enjoy, especially in Guerlain fragrances. And to be honest, if you can't get your hands on Tonka Imperial, I think L'Homme Ideal Extreme, while I'm not saying they are the similar fragrances in terms of how they smell, I think there definitely are some shared notes in there, and overall the kind of feel and the style of the fragrance, I would say there's definitely some similarities. So Yeah, it starts off really nicely and definitely does continue. I think the fragrance has depth, it has legs. It continues on and becomes much more well-rounded. It becomes a little bit more tamer, and I get some more woody elements coming out here, some damp woods, possibly coming from the cedar. I also get this sort of slightly powdery floral nuances coming through, which combined with all the other notes going on make for a really pleasant experience. This is the type of fragrance that you might want to wear like you're at a pub, there's an open fire, you just sat down with like a warm, in a warm environment with a brandy or a whiskey or something like that, and this fragrance just would complement that kind of scenario. That's the feeling I get with this one. Going into the dry down of this fragrance, it says that it has an intense leather note. I wouldn't say that I get anything that is particularly that reminds me of leather. There is this smooth, slightly smoky, woody feel. But really what I get is pretty much everything that I got before, but a lot more closer to the skin, a lot more of a skin scent. I didn't feel like this fragrance really projected a huge amount later on as the hours went by, and I got like a kind of cooking spice, damp, woody, sweet floral kind of accords as I got into the base, and it's lovely. The transition from start to end is really nice. Is it my favorite from the L'Homme Ideal line? The ideal man, that's what it means. I think the EDP just about edges it for me. I can't remember what I gave for that rating. I have reviewed that one. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. I think I would give the extreme version 8 out of 10, but I would say the EDP just probably edges it for me. You know, as I said, I have reviewed that one. I also have done a review of the EDT and the Cologne version, which I wasn't really too much of a fan of, and if you want to check those out, I'll leave a link down below to the Guerlain playlist. But what I'd be really interested to hear from you guys is, where do you think, now that the L'Homme Ideal range has been out for a while, where do you think it kind of ranks amongst mainstream, certainly at least men's anyway, mainstream designer releases? I know Guerlain is technically a niche house, but you know, you can compare it. Like, where does this compare to the Sauvage line or the Bleu de Chanel line? Does it have that same level of impact or maybe widespread acclaim? I'm not sure if it does just yet. Maybe it will in the future, but I want to hear from you guys in terms of what do you think about the quality, because I think on the whole, the L'Homme Ideal range is quite a good range. A couple in there, as I said, were okay. This is really what I wanted from the beginning. The Extreme and the EDP is really what I wanted from the start, you know, when this whole range of fragrances first came out. But yeah, pretty good. Would I buy a bottle? I'm tempted to buy one of them. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts on this one. Which one is your favorite from the range? And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.